loud and unambiguous calls for urgent restoration of access to courts in Zambia by the government of Hakainde Hichilema. We understand that today in Zambia is the last day where opposition political parties should be afforded an opportunity to challenge the electoral outcome of the 13th of August 2026 elections. And Hakainde Hichilema regime has ordered all court workers as well as also judges of the court not to attend work today, being the last day, which means if opposition submit their court applications tomorrow, it would be the cutoff date would have elapsed. That is a technical, actually, the approach by the government of Hakainde Hichilema to stop the people of Zambia from actually opposing his electoral victory. Greetings and welcome to your lovely channel, the Hlonipani Global News. If you're watching us for the very first time, please do remember to press the red or black subscribe button so that next time when we beam live, you become the very first one to watch us. So one of the institutions that have joined the Zambian people is the Law Society of Zimbabwe. Their statement reads as follows. It says the Law Society, in fact, it's the Law Society of Zambia, rather, not of Zimbabwe, the Law Society of Zambia, apologies. It says the Law Society of Zambia, LAZ, is concerned by the closure of the Zambian courts today, 24th of August 2026, and the presence of heavily armed military personnel around court premises in Lusaka, including sealing off certain court premises with tape-marked crime scenes. The closure has occurred in the absence at the time of issuing this statement of a formal public explanation setting out the reasons for the closure. Its geographical scope, its expected duration, and the arrangement in place to ensure continued access to justice. Law Society of Zambia has come across an unsigned memorandum dated 24th of August 2026 addressed to judiciary staff communicating the closure of the courts. However, no further official information has to date been made available to legal practitioners, litigants, or the public regarding the circumstances giving rise to the closure. The legal or institutional basis for the deployment of military personnel at court premises or the arrangement for the handling of urgent and time-sensitive matters. The closure of the courts has immediate implications for access to justice, particularly for persons requiring urgent judiciary intervention. These include persons with pending criminal proceedings, bail applications, applications for habeas corpus, and other proceedings affecting personal liberty. Article 13.3 of the Constitution of Zambia, Chapter 1 of the Laws of Zambia, the Constitution requires that a person arrested or detained upon reasonable suspicion of having committed or being about to commit a criminal offense and who is not released be brought without undue delay before a court. Any disruption to the ordinary of the courts must therefore be managed in a manner that ensures that persons do not suffer prejudice and that constitutional rights continue to receive effective judicial protection. The timing of the closure is particularly significant in the present electoral context. Article 1031 of the Constitution provides for a 7-day provides for a 7-day period with period within which a person may petition the Constitutional Court to nullify the election of a president elect following the declaration of a president elect. The closure of the courts during this constitutionally prescribed period creates a risk that persons seeking to exercise this constitutional right may be prejudiced by uncertainty regarding access to court registries, filing facilities, and judiciary officers. It is therefore imperative that the judiciary immediately clarify arrangements in place to ensure that no person is prejudiced in exercising a constitutional or statutory right by the reason of the closure, including any applicable filing deadline. LAZ, the Law Society of Zambia, recognizes that exceptional circumstances, including genuine and immediate scrutiny concerns, may require temporary measures to protect judiciary officers, judiciary staff, litigants, and members of the public. However, such measures must be lawful, proportionate, and implemented in a manner that preserves access to justice and respects constitutional independence and autonomy of the judiciary. The Constitution vests sovereign authority in the people of Zambia and provides for the separation of functions amongst the executive, legislature, and judiciary. Each arm of government is required to exercise its authority in a manner that respects the constitutional functions and independence of the others. Article 122 of the Constitution guarantees the autonomy of the judiciary in the performance of its functions and provides safeguards against interference with judges, judiciary officers, and judiciary staffs in the exercise of judiciary authority. Accordingly, where extraordinary security measures are necessary at or around court premises, there must be clarity regarding their purpose and legal basis, and they must not have the effect, whether directly or indirectly, of impeding the exercise of judiciary functions or denying persons reasonable access to justice. In light of the foregoing, LAZ calls upon the judiciary to 1. Urgently restore access to courts and resume the filing, receipts, and hearing of matters as soon as it is safe and practicable to do so. 2. Pending full reopening, immediately establish and publicly communicate alternative arrangements for the filing and receipts of urgent and time-sensitive matters, and where necessary, for such matters to be placed before a judicial officer without delay. Give particular priority to matters affecting personal liberty, including habeas corpus and bail applications, as well as constitutional, electoral, and other proceedings subject to strict statutory or constitutional timelines. 4. Ensure that no person is prejudiced by the court in respect of any applicable filing deadline, and issue such directions or make such arrangements as may be necessary to preserve parties' legal and constitutional rights. 5. Promptly communicate to legal practitioners, litigants, and the public the reasons for the closure, its geographical scope, expected duration, and the arrangement for continued access to justice, and provide appropriate clarification regarding the legal and institutional basis for the security measures being implemented at court premises, to the extent that such information can properly be disclosed without compromising legitimate security considerations. So these are the worries of the Law Society of Zambia. Apologies, I'll just edit the title. It's the Law Society of Zambia that has spoken against the closure of the courts or the judiciary system of Zambia, as the world continues to zoom into what exactly is happening in Zambia. We are seeing Hakainde Hichilema showing his true colors. It is true to say power corrupts, and he is actually a clear classic example of a typical corrupted individual by power. Thank you very much for watching us. If you're watching us for the very first time, please do remember to press the red or black subscribe button so that next time when we beam live, you become the very first one to watch us. You can actually support this channel by pressing the join button and be part of our members, so the heartbeat of this channel. You can equally do so by pressing